Jon Jones is back and he's fighting Ciryl Gane at the top of the UFC 285 card, and I cannot wait. I thought that they were going to wait for this announcement for UFC 283 and maybe do the announcement then, but they haven't. They've just announced it. Dana White did, that Jon Jones versus Ciryl Gane is now officially signed for the headliner of UFC 285. And here's the thing, Ciryl Gane just called out Jon Jones, I believe it was on Twitter and Instagram only a few days ago. So did Ciryl Gane post that call out after the fight was signed, or maybe he signed it and was waiting for Jon Jones? Or did Ciryl Gane steal Curtis Blades' potential fight? Because the talk was Jon Jones versus Curtis Blades or Francis Ngannou. And now he's getting Ciryl Gane. And Ciryl Gane maybe just stole the fight from Curtis Blades with that call out. I don't know. That was very quick negotiations if he did. But Ciryl Gane is now fighting Jon Jones for the title, and I think this is good. I think what UFC is going to do is they're going to run with the narrative that you could argue that Ciryl Gane beat Francis Ngannou. I think that Ciryl Gane did beat Francis Ngannou. I think he won the first, second, and fifth round. If you do disagree with me, watch the fifth round back and then tell me why you think Ngannou won. Because Ngannou didn't do anything of really in that fight, in the fifth round, I mean. But anyway, Jon Jones versus Ciryl Gane, man. This is a good fight. This is a massive matchup. And is Jon Jones going to look for the takedowns? That's the thing, because we know that Jon Jones has been bulking up for like 2-3 years ago, for 2-3 years now. And he's been posting pictures of him in the gym. He's been posting pictures of him much bigger than he was, and he's massive now. And he's just signed an 8-fight deal as well. 8 fights. Do I think he's going to complete all 8 fights? I really, really hope so. That would be huge. But he's coming off a 3-year layoff against a very, very good striker in Ciryl Gane. And Jon Jones was getting outstruck by Dominic Reyes for the majority of that fight. Really, I think a lot of people believe that Reyes won 3 rounds. Some people even think Reyes could have won 4 rounds. But the point is, really, Jon Jones was getting outstruck by Dominic Reyes, and unfortunately that win hasn't aged very well at all. Reyes has not won a fight since then, but he's fought tough guys. But I'm gonna be going with Ciryl Gane in the matchup. I am. I didn't think he was gonna be the favorite though. I thought Gane was gonna be a slight underdog. It'll be interesting to see if people do bet Jon Jones up to be up to be a favorite, because this is the opening odds. I believe Gane has opened at -160. Jon Jones is open as the underdog. But I'm looking at the UFC stats, man. I'm just thinking, like, do we see Jon Jones go for takedowns? Like, he got 2 takedowns against Dominic Reyes, according to UFC stats. None against Santos. 3 against Anthony Smith. 1 against Gustafsson in the rematch. None against Cormier, but that was when he knocked him out. And it was a no contest. Oh, Jones, his whole legacy has just been tainted and stained by these no contests and stuff that he does outside of the cage. But he's been well known as a very good wrestler, especially earlier on in his career, really. But now, as of recent, he's getting no takedowns. So he's striking and he's using his long reach. He's got an 8 and 4.5 inch reach, and it'll be interesting. I think Jon Jones is gonna lose on the feet to Ciryl Gane, but if he starts to use the wrestling like Francis Ngannou had to resort to, I want to put that there. Ngannou had to resort to the wrestling for Ciryl Gane because he was finding no success on the feet whatsoever. So it'll be interesting to see, has Gane really improved his takedown defense enough to stuff Jon Jones' takedowns? Has Jon Jones, the whole time, has he been training wrestling? Has he been planning a move to heavyweight and looking at the heavyweight division and seeing that the whole heavyweight division is for the most part really powerful strikers? I know we've got wrestlers and grapplers in there. Curtis Blades is probably the top wrestler right now in the division, or highest ranked pure wrestler in the division as I can think of. Sergey Spivak's a pretty good grappler on the come up. Alexander Romanov as well comes to mind. But has Jon Jones seen that division and seen that most of the top guys are really powerful strikers and decided that he's going to go for a really heavy wrestling base in his move to heavyweight? Or is he going to stick with his style of striking and then also going for takedowns as well with his ground and pound and everything else that he does? Because Jon Jones, he is the greatest of all time. Second greatest of all time in my opinion. I think GSP is. But the thing is with I think GSP is the greatest of all time in my eyes personally. But if Jon Jones never popped for steroids, I think he'd be number 1. I think everyone can kind of agree on that, you know what I mean? We've just seen Jon Jones have such a great career, but it's just been stained. It's been stained by no contests. It's been stained by drug tests. It's been stained by incidents outside of the cage. It's been stained. It's just got such a stained career. It's got such a good career in MMA, but it's been so stained by just him as just being a bit of a interesting person at times, man. But in the matchup, we're talking fighting here, guys. I've got Ciryl Gane. I think Ciryl Gane is just such a good, elusive striker. I think on the feet he's going to be the same as Dominic Cruz. I think he's going to be beating John Jones on the feet. And John Jones, I think if he can shoot for takedowns and get them, that's where he's going to have his success. Because the thing is, when Francis Ngannou was getting on top of Gane, for the most part, Gane couldn't get up. Gane was stuck on bottom from Francis. I don't think he planned to be taken down by Francis. I think he's going to be preparing for John Jones, though, because the thing is, this is a pretty short notice announcement as well. I mean, this fight is only 6 weeks away, so we've got 6 weeks for Ciryl Gane, really, to prepare for potential takedowns attempts from John Jones. How good is his takedown attempts going to be? Is he still training with his main training partner, being Alan Bardot? That's the one thing that amazes me. In my opinion, Ciryl Gane beat Francis Ngannou, and his main training partner for that fight was Alan Bardot. Like, that's crazy. That's Conor McGregor being a double champ with Artem Lobov as his main training partner levels. You know what I mean? Like, but yeah, I like John Jones. I just don't think he beats Gane. I think he would have lost to Ngannou too. But here's the thing though. I think John Jones has got a much better chance at beating Gane than he did of Ngannou. I think he would have got knocked out by Ngannou. I do. But I think he beats Gane. No. I think Gane beats him. I think my pick is going to switch a lot. And it's going to be such a good fight. I'm so excited for this, guys. I'm going to be in my flat at university in March when this starts. So, oh, boys, I'm hosting a big party for this one, boys. Unless I just, none of my mates want to watch it. And I might do a fight companion live stream. Depending on how good my internet is there. That might be probably a better option, to be honest, than watching it with my mates that don't really know MMA. But oh man, I love it. I love the fight. I love how it saved UFC 285 as well, in my opinion as well. Because we were looking at UFC 285, like, what are they gonna do? You know, I think the co-main event for UFC 285 is gonna be announced for on the UFC 283 Brazil card. I think it's gonna be a bantamweight title fight, depending whether or not Aljamain. If Aljamain Sterling's involved, it's gonna be Aljamain Sterling versus Henry Cejudo. If not, it'll be Sean O'Malley versus Henry Cejudo in the co-main event as an interim belt. But as for this fight, I do have Ciryl Gane beating John Jones. A lot of people look at this and be like, oh, the way that Francis Ngannou manhandled Ciryl Gane, John Jones is definitely going to. And it's like, well, did you watch the fight? Like, did you actually watch the fight? Ngannou wasn't really taking him down all that much. If you look at the official stats, he got taken down 4 times. And Gane even landed his own official takedown. You know what I mean, in that fight. Like, and Gane only controlled him for 8 minutes of the fight, and that was the majority in the 3rd and the 4th rounds, and also 3 minutes, 2.5 minutes or so, I believe, in the 5th, where Gane actually ended up going for a heel hook and injured his knee. Because everyone's like, oh, Ngannou beat Gane with an injured knee, and it's like, well, no, Ciryl Gane did the injury to Ngannou. Like what? Like, I just NPCs. But yeah, I'm going with Gane. I'm very excited for the matchup though. I really cannot wait. This is such a big announcement. This is a hype, man. This is hype. I was about to say I haven't seen John Jones fight in 3 years, and I was like, oh, actually, no one's seen John Jones fight in 3 years. This is big, guys. Like, he really is the greatest of all time, aside from GSP. If his legacy wasn't tainted like it is, he genuinely would have gone down as the greatest ever, but he just can't. He's got to be number 2 for me. GSP's number 1. Yeah, it's just tough, man. Tough for me. No, it's not even tough. What do you mean? It's tough. This is so hype. What am I on about? I think I'm in my own world. I'll leave you to it. I've got to talk about Leon Edwards versus Kamaru Usman as well. Huge fights announced, guys. This is absolutely insane.